This is John Paul. I'm coming to you from Tokyo, Japan. I want to keep covering this NBA and Black Lives Matter controversy because I think the rabbit hole goes even deeper than I originally thought. And if you guys out there clicked on this video and you're following it, you know China's kind of involved. So let's take a look here. This looks like a local article from Orlando, and I love local articles because the mainstream media, as you guys know, doesn't report the truth these days, especially on things like this. So let's take a look. China gets the NBA to shut up and dribble. So basically what they're saying here is that NBA players have been kneeling against the anthem, but they're afraid to endanger their money, their revenue by speaking against China, which, as you guys might or might not know, has some really terrible things going on as far as human rights these days. It's actually the National Basketball Association, but if you've tuned into the season restart at Disney World and followed the money, you know why the NBA should rename itself after its favorite country. Along with dunks and free throws, we're being treated to the world's most privileged Black Lives Matter protest. And yeah, I mean, not for nothing, but coming from a bunch of multi-millionaires who were able to live in a country where they could play basketball and pretty much get everything in life and more, it's not quite as powerful. Inside the Disney bubble, players and coaches support Black Lives Matter t-shirts. The slogan is painted on every court. Instead of their last names, players have league-approved slogans like Justice Now, Anti-Racist, and Respect Us on their jerseys. And, of course, if you don't kneel and you don't have these woke-ass jerseys, basically, they ask you to explain why you're being a rebel. It should actually be the other way around. If you really believe Black Lives Matter, the last group you should support is Black Lives Matter, with its goal to disrupt, end the nuclear family. But if players think defunding the police will make lives better for black people, it's a free country. Just one request. Amid all the preaching, would someone make a peep about a country that commits more human rights abuses in 10 minutes than the US does in 10 years? China arrested a bunch of people for protesting for human rights. They arrested 5, I think, yesterday for throwing a flag down on the ground, something like that. So, the NBA, who is saying, we're all for human rights, is funded and siding with a country in modern times now that seems to be against human rights. They say don't press your ears against the NBA's bubble waiting for an answer pertaining to what I just said there about, could they say something about China? The league officially declared it has no soul in October when Houston general manager Daryl Morey sent one measly tweet supporting the democratic protests in Hong Kong. Yeah, one little tweet, that ain't shit. The Chinese Communist Party started pulling NBA games off TV and merchandise off shelves. With its multi-billion-dollar relationship threatened, the NBA quickly bowed in subservience and sent Morey to re-education camp. Since then, the NBA has stayed mum as China ransacked all rights in Hong Kong, unleashed COVID-19 on the world, and herded countless more, excuse my pronunciation, Uyghur Muslims onto trains bound for slave labor camps. That sounds pretty bad. Somewhere, Laura Ingraham must be cackling. The Fox News host famously advised LeBron James to lay off the politicking and shut up and dribble 2 years ago. The inflamed America's woke citizenry, which sees sports stars as social justice martyrs in the mold of Muhammad Ali. The difference is, Ali risked his career with his Vietnam War stance. Today's jocks risk nothing, yet James fancies himself Joan of Arc in sneakers. Yeah, so, if there's no risk, then can't really take that so seriously. So the thing is, if the NBA was some kind of compass of moral goodness, there's a few things they could do. Number one, they could ask Nike manufacturing plants to move to the US. Give United States people jobs. And of course, that would create jobs for all colors, including blacks. So, why not do that? And they also say, well, we can't be some kind of moral police the entire world. Yeah, well, no shit. We're not saying police the entire world with morals. We're saying, why don't you show some morals when dealing with the people who you're directly connected to in business. Of course no one's saying, well, you guys should handle this then, you guys should handle that then. No, we're specifically saying you guys should at least have the same moral beliefs for the people you're associated with. I don't question the sincerity of players who want to make lives better, but there are a billion lives in China desperate for influential social justice warriors to speak up for them. So tune into the NBA's Black Lives Matter Festival. If players keep dribbling away in silence, you'll know the only color they really care about is green. Yeah, I've said that too, man. I mean, ultimately, when you're looking at the stuff in society, what's going on, just follow the money. And the people on top who have real power to manipulate what people think, with the media, high-level politicians, people with millions of followers, they're after the money, first and foremost. They don't really care about color of skin. And little secret, they probably don't care so much about the issues. The police, racism, it doesn't matter to them much. So, if you're a basketball player and you've got like, I don't know, $50 million in the bank or $30 million in the bank or I don't know, whatever, then it shouldn't be so important for you to press your own social message. And you should be like a little fucking thankful for the people who allowed you to elevate yourself in society to that height. And a lot of those people would be fans, paying for games who don't want to see games now because of, well, the woke messaging right on the court. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think down below. I'm doing shoutouts, special thanks, things like that, doing pop culture. I kind of consider sports part of entertainment. It's a little different. Yes, it is its own genre, but I think it falls ultimately under entertainment. And I've just been fascinated by this news, so I'm going to keep up on this specifically. Not going to do too much political stuff about other realms, but the NBA stuff is really kind of catching my interest now. Okay, I'm rambling. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you don't subscribe, well, I'll be pretty sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.